Good morning, everybody. What's going on? How we doing today? All right, so got something I want to give to y'all right quick. A couple things I want to talk about. Hopefully, it adds value to someone's life today. But let's go ahead and get into this intro so we can get done. All right, we'll be talking to you soon. All right, everybody, what's going on? So, all right, my studio's coming together. Let's take a look. Quick slide over here to the right. There's the Mega Hua flag. Hua. All right, I gotta give some shouts out to Mega Hua. A centerpiece of everything. I literally put it in the centerpiece. But we're gonna get back to Sergeant Major Strata, aka Mega Hua. All right, so this morning I got a couple things I want to talk about. And the first thing I want to talk about is what's going on. What's going on, everybody? How we doing? Hey, Ma, how you doing? All right. Thanks. So this morning, what I wanted to talk about was, leadership. And what I want to talk about was a very specific part of leadership, because we hear people talk about, mentoring, coaching, and teaching. And this is how I see it. All right. This is how I see it. And like I said, hopefully this adds value to somebody's life. Now, a lot of times in life, we'll hear people say, we'll hear people talk about leading, coaching, and teaching. All right, give me 1 second. My screen is acting weird here. But we'll hear people talk about coaching, teaching, and mentoring. All right. But we're going to come back to that. Just let's put that to the side right now. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the noise and data. All right. So if we're in a very data-driven organization where there's data points, there's metrics, there's things that people have to do to prove basically that they did what they said they did and that they're doing good. This is how we get assessments. But the thing that we have to realize is this. Everybody doesn't interpret the data the same way. When you have someone and they have data that they don't understand, to me, when you have data that you don't understand, that's noise. And as leaders, we have to understand that a lot of times we give noise to our subordinates because they don't understand the data, or they don't understand what it is that we're trying to get from them, what we're trying to pull from them. So it's the leader's job to help that subordinate interpret that data so that it no longer becomes, it's no longer considered to be noise. Because think about it like this. If you had someone that spoke a different language and you did not understand that language, it would just be noise to you. It would be noise. But just because it's noise to you doesn't mean that it's noise. It just means that you don't understand it. And because you don't understand it, it's noise. All right? It's the leader's job to help that subordinate interpret that noise so that it becomes data and we can use it. All right. Now let's get back to what we table-sided, the coaching, teaching, and mentoring. All right? Now, with coaching, teaching, and mentoring, I've had a lot of great leaders. I've had phenomenal leaders in my career, and I'm going to talk about one of them today. But I've had a lot of phenomenal leaders. Like, I can honestly say in my entire career, I've never had a bad leader. And I know some people are going to be like, wow, that's bull crap. No, I'm telling you, I've never had a bad leader. I've never had a bad leader. I've had phenomenal leaders. Yep. Hey, me and Moms, we got to get on here and talk about our meeting people where they're at. But I've never had a bad leader. I've always had great leaders. And a lot of people will look at it and be like, well, maybe that's just his perception. Maybe you're right. But what I've learned from these leaders, all of them collectively, is this. Good leaders know that, look, you're not going to have three separate people. You're not going to have one person that's out here as the teacher. You're not going to have one person that's out here that's the coach, and then another one that's the mentor. That's not going to happen. All right. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen. There's rare situations where it does, but it's absolutely not going to happen. A good leader knows that, look, I have to teach my people. And once I teach my people and they understand what it is that I'm teaching them, they've grasped the concept. Now I have to switch into coaching mode. Once I switch into coaching mode, now I'm coaching them to become better at whatever it was that I taught them in the initial stages with that crawl, walk, run phase. All right. So if we would say the crawl stage is the teaching phase, the walk stage is the coaching stage, and then the run phase is where that mentor comes in at. That's how those three break down. Now, good leaders know when to switch in between coaching and teaching. And look, there's nothing wrong with getting into the coaching stage and then realizing, well, you know what? This individual didn't understand it the way that I thought they understand it. Like they didn't display what they needed to display. So guess what? Now I got to go back into the teaching stage. That's totally fine. That is totally fine. It is absolutely fine to digress and go back into that teaching stage. Because if there was something, think about it like a math equation. If you did a math equation and you got one step wrong, the entire thing is incorrect. The entire thing is incorrect. Think about leadership in the same aspects. If you get to that coaching stage and you see that we got things that are going wrong, there's nothing wrong with sliding back into the teaching stage and making sure that foundation is solid and solidified. Because if you build a house on a rocky foundation, eventually it's going to fall over. Eventually it's going to fall over. So there's nothing wrong with going back. Now, good leaders know that they have to switch in between coach and teacher. Great leaders, all right, great leaders can mentor, coach, and teach. All right. But that you have to be at a very specific point in your career where you have the influence and buy-in that people will allow you to mentor them. You can't just, you can't just go out there and then expect people. You can't just go out there and expect people to just, buy in to everything that you say. You get buy-in through credibility. You get buy-in through credibility. Credibility is gained through doing. That means you have to do it. You got to get out there. You got to do it. Once you build up that, because think about it, credibility, credit. What is credit? Credit is basically saying that you're good for what you say you are. You've proven that you will pay back. So if I translate that over to the leadership side of the house, I have a track record where the things that I've done what I said I was going to do. I've done what I've been told to do, and I've proven that I'm trustworthy and I know what I'm talking about. That's what credibility is. All right. That's what credibility is. Like John C. Maxwell said, you know what, as a leader, your goal should be to gain so much credibility with your people so that when you make a mistake, you don't lose their buy-in. Because credibility, he explained it like this. He said, credibility is like a piggy bank. If you take a piggy bank, right? And every time you do something right, you put change into that piggy bank. You put change into that piggy bank. And then eventually something happens and you got to pay for something. When you make a mistake, you got to pay for it. And you pay for it with your credibility. So you got to take some change out that piggy bank. Now, when that piggy bank is completely empty and you have no more money in that piggy bank, guess what? Your credibility is gone and you've lost people's buy-in. Okay? That's how that works. So you, as a leader, your job should be to build as much credibility with your people as you possibly can so that when you make a mistake, you don't lose their buy-in. All right? Now, second thing I want to talk about is this. I want to talk about showing people you believe in them. A lot of times we'll tell people like, man, we believe in you. You can do this. We believe in you. This, that, and the third. All of this good stuff, right? Yep. Help them become better than you, man. Like a lot of people, that is one of the biggest things that we're looking at right now. We have a lot of people that don't want to, they want to help people to become better, but they're afraid for them to become better than them. That's not servant leadership. Because we got to look at this from an infinite/finite mindset. The organization that we're a part of, regardless of what organization or business it is, or whatever walk of life you have, you got to look at it from an infinite mindset. Because the reason we say infinite is because one day you're going to pass away and somebody else is going to take your place. And if you are only here for you and what you're doing right now, that's finite. Finite meaning that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. You want this thing to be infinite. That's how a legacy is left, through an infinite mindset. That legacy is left by somebody sitting in there and saying, you know what, one day I'm not going to be here. How can I set up that person that's coming behind me to be better than me or do what better than what I'm doing? So how do we show people that we believe in them? All right, and I'm going to use one of my leaders that that showed me how to do this. All right, he showed me. He don't even know he showed me, but he showed me how to do this. I've had a lot of people tell me that they believe in me, and they've motivated me to do things, and you know, like I said, I've never had a bad leader. One of my leaders, in particularly, showed me that he believed in me, and he never told it to me. All right. So one of my sergeant majors, when I was a first sergeant, right? When you're a first sergeant, you got a lot of stuff that you got to do. It ain't hard. It's the most rewarding job in the world. It's mentally challenging because you got to juggle a lot of things, and you got to it's you basically being a people person. You got to go out here and you got to make the first sergeant's job is to make sure everybody's taken care of. Bottom line. If I had to sum it up, that's what I would say it is. That is the first sergeant's job. The first sergeant's job is like you're like the dad of the company. You got to make sure everybody's taken care of, everybody's treated fairly, nobody's discriminated against, and everybody feels like they're a part of the family. If you can't do that, you failed as a first sergeant. Bottom line. And when people, don't want to be a part of their family, then you got to talk to the right folks and make sure they're not a part of the family. All right. But there's a process for that. But either way, when I was a first sergeant, like I said, there was a lot of stuff that I had to do. And when I did these things, most of the time everything went right. But there was a couple times where they didn't. They didn't go the way that I wanted them to go. And I had a lot of stuff, and I'm human. I forgot. So I forgot what it was, but there was something that I had to do, and I forgot to do it. And it affected my company in a big way. So I went to go talk to my sergeant major because I've always been told bad news don't get better with time. So I went to go talk to my sergeant major. I put him to the side. I told him what happened. And he looked at me and he was like, all right, first sergeant. He was like, well, thank you for telling me. And he was like, I know you'll be able to take care of this. Handle business. And that was it. He didn't badmouth me. He didn't try to make me feel like I was, an idiot. He didn't try to come at me as if, how dare you forget this? You're a first sergeant. That wasn't what he did. What he did was he understood what happened. He showed me that he believed in me, and he didn't try to tear me apart. That is the leadership that I appreciate. And that sergeant major's name is Sergeant Major Eric Arredondo. And I'm going to tag him in this video because I really appreciate what he did. I was brought up with a very specific type of leadership. But I've had leaders throughout my career show me compassion and show me that it's okay to have empathy and let people see that you're human. Transparency, like that is one of the biggest things to help you out with leadership. They say the two easiest way to make a connection with somebody is to ask questions and ask help. Ask for help. Ask questions and ask for help. And these are two of the things that a lot of times in a lot of organizations, those things are kind of discouraged because you'll look at it and a soldier will need help, or an employee will need help. Somebody will need help to do something, and they're afraid to go ask it because they think people are going to laugh at them. They're afraid to feel vulnerable around their team. What happens when a team is afraid to feel vulnerable around each other? Mistakes happen. People don't come up on the net when they need help. The learning process is slowed down. So that environment that you're trying to create for people to grow in, you're destroying it because you're making it so it's not cool for people to ask questions and ask for help. Every time we go to somebody and be like, hey, you should know this. You should know this. Okay, I got it. There's things that we should know. I got it. But in that very moment, when they genuinely do not know, you got two options. You can sit here and say, hey, you should know this, and you can tear them apart, or you can deal with it in that moment and then go back and revisit like, all right, let's look at our education here and figure out why it is that you don't know what you should know. You can do that thing in such a way that now that person feels that they don't want to let you down because they know you expect them to be great. They know you expect them to be great. So if you can figure out how to do that, and it's very easy to do, treat people good, take care of people, look out for people. and they will surprise you every time. I think it was General Patton who said, "Don't tell people how to do, tell them what to do, and they'll surprise you." I believe that was General Patton who said that. But in the same token, he was right. You don't have to micromanage people. You don't have to sit here and tell people, I want you to do this way, this way, this way, this way. When you do that, you destroy creativity and you destroy autonomy. You want people to act on their own, but you want them to do it in the interest of the organization that they're a part of. If you can figure out these things, and look, I apologize. I know my video was a little long this morning. I try to keep it to 10 minutes, but we're at 15 minutes right now. But either way, I wanted to put this out, and I wanted to talk about Sergeant Major Arredondo. All right, I'm gonna do. Hey, this dude was the GOAT, man. I'm telling you, like, I'm gonna do a whole freaking series of Sergeant Major Arredondo. All right, but either way, I wanted to put that out there. I hope it, it adds to somebody's value of life and stuff like that. But in the same token, be good to people, take care of people, and everything will be all right. If somebody does you wrong, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, because it's gonna come back around. All right. You get out there, you keep doing the best that you can do. All right. Focus on completing things. Don't get mad and sit here and say, like, man, I put all of this effort into this, or effort doesn't matter. At the end of the day, effort does not matter. You cannot confuse effort with accomplishment and completion. Completion is what matters. Now, you got to keep putting that effort in to complete some things. But at the end of the day, you got to complete things. All right. Effort is important. You have to put effort in, but you cannot sit here and get mad and say, hey, I put all of this effort into a thing and you didn't complete it. We need to recognize effort and we need to reward completion. All right. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump up off of here. Hey, I'm sorry I kept y'all so long this morning. I appreciate everybody for jumping in here and listening to what I have to say. Hey, I love all of y'all. If ain't nobody told you, as always, if you need anything, hit me in the inbox, give me a phone call. I do whatever I can for anybody. Hell, I give you the shirt off my back. But at the end of the day, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm back on the East Coast, getting my little freaking studio together so I can make some videos and everything. I'm gonna definitely come by and visit my peoples over here on the East Coast. And that's all we got. So, hey, look, as I say in all my videos, life is a choice and we're depending on you to choose well. With that being said, we'll talk to you soon.